How far have we actually come when it has to do with gender roles in the workplace? Let's talk about it.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. Like I said, I wanted to talk about gender roles in the workplace and how far as a people we have actually come as far as what we think of that and how it actually should look. What actually sparked this conversation is I was watching Sister Circle live this morning. You know, it's a new basic roundtable show that's actually on TV One starring Quad. You guys know Quad from Married to Medicine. Rashawn Ali, Quentin Latham, a.k.a. Funky Dineva, Selena Johnson, and also comedian Kiana Dancy. And they actually sit on a panel and they talk about different things. So good show. You all give it a shot. If you haven't seen it, go over to TV One and check out Sister Circle live. Now, the thing they were doing, they were actually talking in this one segment, and they were speaking about gender roles as it pertains to workplace. And it was funny because they kind of started off in the realm of beauty. They were talking about makeup artists and hairdressers, and it was so strange because when you think makeup artists and hairdressers and you think entertainment field, you immediately think of male. I don't know why that is, but that's kind of what most people, they think male. When they think entertainment and hairdressing and makeup, they think male. And it was so strange to me when, of all people, Quentin, DJQ, a.k.a. Funky Dineva, actually said his opinion. He said he blatantly came out and said those were jobs for women. Those were roles for women. And I thought it was so funny. I wasn't offended by it or anything like that. It just was strange to me because Funky Dineva's a drag queen. So that kind of just shocked me and threw me kind of off. I said, wow. So I kind of perked up and I started paying attention and I said, and it just was strange to me. And I never in a million years thought that he would ever think that way about those types of things. Because if you didn't know, and some of you do, some of you don't, Funky Dineva is one of the reasons that I'm actually on YouTube. Funky Dineva was one of the people that I was watching before I started my channel, who I actually watched and said, you know what, that's so funny. I could do that. And here I come, you know, a couple years later and a couple thousand folks later, here I am. So for him to be on that kind of side of the fence was really strange to me. And so it just made me pay attention. I said, wow. And nobody was actually saying anything. The women didn't, I don't think they agreed with that. They kind of didn't say anything. And then they kind of start chiming in with, you know, jobs should be done by the people that are good at them. And then he moved on when it got even more strange when he said something about daycare workers and that daycare workers should be women. Women should be the ones that run daycares. And I said, wow. And I said, okay. So I said, that was funny. Then Selena chimed in, you know, when it comes to daycare, she agreed that it needed to be a woman that would be running daycare because of the nurturing part and the maternal part of it. So I kind of laughed because now all of this really spoke to me personally because, okay, so like I said, a lot of you all know me and a lot of you all don't. So let's explain a little bit about James, okay? So the whole hairdressing thing and the makeup thing. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, okay? So for a good part of my life, I've been kind of the person that I've been living that twist of those gender roles in the workplace. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I'm also a fashion designer. That's what I actually have my degree in, apparel technology. And those are things that were women's jobs. And it's so funny because it's becoming like a very heavily male populated sector. Both of those things. Again, fashion designers, you think men. And generally gay men, but we're not going to get into that because that's a whole nother topic for another time. So once we went through that, like I said, it piqued my interest. And then when they said daycare, it made me really laugh because I am a former owner of a daycare center. I actually owned an in-home daycare center. And no, I didn't babysit people's kids. I literally had a registered in-home family daycare operation registered with the state of Pennsylvania. So I said, wow. And I know now that I do know is a little different, but I did it and I did it well. Okay. And I'm actually a male adoptive parent of 2 boys. So again, that's a whole nother situation. Adopting children and foster care for children when you are male and gay specifically. Okay, so this is where we were, and this is what was going on. I said, wow. So, of course, you know, one of my gripes with Sister Circle is their segments are kind of short. They have a lot of different things that are actually put into their hour, and it breaks off. So I wanted to continue the conversation and see what you guys actually thought. So that's why I came over to my channel and I borrowed this little topic, and I hope Sister Circle doesn't mind, but we're going to talk about it over here. So let me just say what my thing was, and I tweeted and everything to the show this morning too. Anybody can do anything and be good at it. So that was what I, you know, that's my take on it. And though I do I get the hesitation with the daycare thing, but are we really kind of stuck with this stuff? Like that just shocked me that we were stuck with that, and especially an out gay male would be kind of stuck in those situations. And I'm just going to go real fast because I don't want to make this video completely all about me, but let me tell you how I ended up doing the whole daycare thing. I got my first child. He was 18 months old. Okay. So he's 18 months. He can talk, he can walk, and all of these things. We got all that together. Okay. And I was not completely comfortable leaving him, but it was cool. You know, I worked through that, and I actually had him being cared for while I worked, because I had a traditional job at the time. I actually was working customer service with the phone company at the time. And, you know, I made a decent wage and all of that. But again, I'm gone 10, 11 hours just like everybody else in the world. So I had to trust someone with my child. And it was actually my godmother. My godmother was actually caring for my child. So that gave me a little bit of, you know, comfort. Now, of course, we didn't see, you know, because with anybody, you don't see totally eye to eye with anybody when it comes to raising children. You have your way, I have my way, and we just meet somewhere in the middle. So that was all cool. Now, what ended up happening is down the line, here comes my second boy. And I actually got him directly from the hospital. He was 12 hours old. I took him home from the hospital, and I said, you know, something is going to have to change. Because I'm not, now right here, I'm not comfortable, even though it is my godmother and all of that. He's newborn. He's mine. I'm completely responsible for him, and he can't talk, walk, care for himself, or any of that. So it's on me. So at that point, that's when I made the decision, and I knew he was actually coming. His mother actually contacted me when she was like 3 months pregnant, and I knew he was coming. So I've been waiting on him. So once he made it here, I made that decision and I left my job. And I actually, took the classes, got myself registered, licensed, and all of that stuff, and opened up daycare because that way I would be home with my children, and I ran that daycare and was able to support us. And and for those of you that don't know, there is a crap load of money in childcare. Look it up, check it out. But anyway, so we were comfortable and all of that. And I ran the daycare, and I kept my daycare going all the way up until my children both were school aged and enrolled in school. And then I literally left home and went back. I closed daycare down, left home, and then went and worked at the school. So still with my kids, I worked at the school. I was administrative assistant and front desk, and I also did some teaching at the school. So, funny thing was, when I did it, I knew there was some risk factor in there. And I thought myself at that time that I would never have girls. I said, I doubt that I'll ever have girls in my daycare. And I doubted Caucasian children, period. I didn't even give that any thought. I always thought, because family daycare, being as though it's inside your house, it's very intimate. It's very intimate, and that's what any daycare. You should really take some time and get to know the people you're leaving your children with and that kind of thing. And it's kind of hard to do that when you go to just a regular facility because you have no control over who's coming in and out of there. Whereas with a family daycare, you kind of know exactly who's there because they live there. And that kind of thing. And you can get an intimate relationship and get to know these people where you really never know people at a daycare center because somebody else hired them. Those people leave there and they go home. You don't know how they live. You don't know those people and you have no control over who's coming in. They fire them people or those people leave. They bring new people in. They don't call you and consult you about who's coming in there. Whereas when it's a family daycare, you are right there and directly seeing what's going on, not all day, but you do have more of a feel of exactly what's going on. So, saying all that to say, I was shocked. I was shocked because I thought those gender roles and all that, because I've been through a lot of that stuff when I was doing my adoption. People question, well, why do you want to do this? And you're a single male and you're gay and what? All of that. I've been through all of that. So I was expecting all of that. Well, let me tell you, I was completely shocked and thrown off because my very first client was a little girl, beautiful little girl, Caucasian girl, blonde hair down to her waist and blue eyes. Okay, you don't get any whiter than that. And she was just a doll baby and she fit right in and she was my very first client. And then as we went on, 85% of my roster were all girls. All girls. I had girls. And that was how it was. And it just, again, it was these intimate relationships with these parents, I guess, they got to know me, they met me, they were comfortable with me, and that's how they end up choosing me for daycare. So I think maybe I was a little jaded by what my experience has actually been. And maybe that's why this kind of threw me off today, along with the fact that Funky is actually gay and a drag queen, that he kind of felt that kind of way. It was kind of strange coming from him. But I don't know. But I said maybe my experience was an isolated event, that people just felt free, comfortable with me and their daughters and that kind of thing. But it just was what it was. I do. Now, I don't miss working at the phone company at all. I don't miss that. That was an experience. I wouldn't take it back. It is what it is. I would never jump back into it, though. I don't miss that. I definitely miss working with the kids. Anything with working with children, when you don't feel like going to work, when I worked at him, that was one thing. But when I had to get up again and go to the school and work, there's days when you wake up and you don't feel like going to work. That's any job you do. Anytime I ever felt like that, and by the time I got around that corner to the school and I walk through that door and I sit at that desk and you see those kids coming through and they're like, hey, Mr. J, and they're rolling through, it takes you into a whole different place. Kids are life. Kids just literally breathe life into situations. And it is just like a joy to actually be there with them, and you're watching them and they're going from class to class, and you just see them literally growing up. You know, because our school actually went from pre-K all the way up through 8th grade, and you're just watching them actually as they grow, and that it just breathes life into you. A few minutes after you get there, you're like, oh, well, I can't believe that earlier I didn't even want to be here, because they just give you life. You can't even age ungraceful when you work around children. Children breathe life into situations. But anyway, I'm going on to a whole nother thing. Let me get down off my soapbox, but bam, and I'm back. So this is what this whole thing is about. In those comments, let me know what you all think about gender roles in the workplace and how far we've come or maybe not come at this point. And again, thank you to Sister Circle. I guess you guys, I hope you guys don't mind me borrowing your topic, but there's nothing you can do about it anyway. I'm joking. But anyway, so leave me something down in the comments. Again, if you've not been watching Sister Circle, give them a try. Check them out. See what you think of the show. I like it. I watch every day. All right, and shout out to Quad Webb-Lunceford, Kiana Dancy, Rashad Ali, Selena Johnson, and of course, Funky Dineva, DJ Q, Quentin Latham. All right, guys, talk to you soon in the comments. Let me know what's going on.